Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Tonight, Manila's EDSA Boulevard is a river of humanity. Hundreds of thousands, not in celebration but in outrage. Their signs are blunt: where is our 545 billion pesos, and stop stealing our future. The air is thick with rain and raw emotion as chants and protest songs echo through the city. This is not just a protest, it's a national reckoning. The crowd stretches for miles, a testament to collective anger that's finally boiled over. Students, elderly farmers, office workers, and jeepney drivers march side by side, united by a shared sense of injustice. The protest, now in its third day, has paralyzed the capital. What began as small online gatherings has become a movement the world can't ignore. The world is watching as Filipinos demand accountability. Yesterday, nuns knelt before riot police, praying the rosary, a viral image of peaceful resistance. When rain poured, the crowd stayed, lighting up their cell phones, a galaxy of hope in the darkness. These moments capture the heart of the movement, resilience as deep as the corruption they fight. The energy is electric, frustration and hope mingling in the crowd. People share food, help strangers, and forge a sense of community in crisis. They believe unity can force change. The demand is bigger than resignations, it's for systemic reform. They want a government that serves its people, not its own pockets. This sea of people is a reminder. True power lies in the collective will of citizens. The protests are peaceful but determined. The government's response is being watched closely. The people's message is clear: enough is enough. They are not going anywhere. The movement is growing, fueled by hope and anger. The nation stands at a turning point. The world is watching Manila. At the heart of this outrage is a staggering scandal. 545 billion pesos, or about 10 billion US dollars, meant for flood control. These funds were supposed to build seawalls, dredge rivers, and protect millions from typhoons. But investigative journalists uncovered a web of deceit. The money vanished. Funds were released, paperwork filed, contracts awarded, but on the ground, nothing changed. Journalists found empty fields where new dikes should stand, and locals who never saw a single construction crew. The projects were declared 100% complete on paper, but in reality, nothing was built. The scheme ran through ghost projects and shell corporations, many linked to powerful politicians. Dummy companies with no real offices or equipment won massive contracts, then funneled the money through a maze of accounts. This was not minor graft, it was industrial-scale looting. The missing billions could have built schools, hospitals, or equipped the military. Instead, millions remain vulnerable to the next disaster. The question on everyone's lips: where did the money go? Who will be held accountable? The nation demands answers. The scandal has shaken the country to its core. The political fallout was swift. The Secretary of Public Works and Highways responsible for the projects resigned under pressure, denying involvement, blaming subordinates. Protesters saw him as either complicit or incompetent. The budget secretary soon followed, after leaks showed his office fast-tracked the funds. Both denied wrongdoing, blaming systemic flaws. 2 cabinet resignations in a week signaled a deep crisis and created a power vacuum. The scandal reached Congress, lawmakers linked to shell companies, using influence to secure contracts for relatives and allies. The ombudsman launched a full investigation. Travel bans hit dozens of officials. The sense of impunity is crumbling. The president, at first defensive, now promises a no-holds-barred probe and an independent anti-corruption commission. But the public is skeptical. They've heard such promises before. The administration's legitimacy is on the line. Only decisive, transparent action can restore trust. The nation waits for real accountability. The dominoes are still falling. The crisis is far from over. For ordinary Filipinos, this scandal is personal. It's about the farmer whose harvest was lost to floods because a promised canal was never built. The family whose home was submerged because a dike existed only on paper. These are the real victims of the missing billions. Millions work hard, pay taxes and sacrifice, while officials live lavishly on stolen funds. The contrast is infuriating. Trust in government, already fragile, is shattered. Corruption is not abstract. It's a direct threat to safety, livelihood, and the future. The anger is born from vulnerability and betrayal. The government's duty is to protect its people. Instead, it became the source of their suffering. This is more than a political crisis, it's existential. Filipinos are fighting for their right to a safe, dignified life. The cost of corruption is measured in lives, not just pesos. The scandal has exposed deep cracks in Philippine governance. Key cabinet resignations have triggered a leadership crisis. Government agencies are in disarray, Congress is under investigation. This paralysis means crucial functions are neglected when strong leadership is needed most. The economy reels, stocks fall, the peso weakens, inflation rises. The innocent pay again as prices soar. Political capital is spent on damage control, not on reforms or services. The bureaucracy is demoralized, honest employees stifled by suspicion. Political divisions deepen, calls for impeachment, accusations of conspiracy. Leaders are busy blaming each other instead of solving the crisis. The nation is distracted, vulnerable, and fractured. The real work of fighting corruption is lost in the noise. The timing couldn't be worse. As the Philippines reels from scandal, tensions with China escalate in the West Philippine Sea. Chinese vessels harass Filipino fishermen and assert claims over Philippine waters. The nation needs unity and strength, but the corruption crisis has left it distracted and weak. Leaders focus on political fallout instead of national defense. Beijing sees opportunity in Manila's chaos. The stolen billions could have modernized the military, new ships, jets, radar, and bases. Instead, the country's defenders are under-equipped and overstretched. The Philippines now fights on two fronts: corruption within and aggression from without. Internal weakness translates to external vulnerability. A government that can't manage its treasury can't defend its territory. Protesters know this. Their fight is for sovereignty as much as justice. The nation's future hangs in the balance. The scandal's impact on the armed forces is devastating. Military modernization, crucial for defending the West Philippine Sea, has been gutted. While the military pleaded for resources, billions were siphoned away. The Navy and Coast Guard face modern Chinese ships with aging, inadequate equipment. The stolen funds could have bought new frigates, patrol vessels, and better gear. Instead, troops are asked to do the impossible. Morale plummets, soldiers question who they're fighting for, trust in leadership is eroded. Allies like the US grow wary of providing aid to a government mired in corruption. The Philippines risks isolation at a critical moment. Corruption has left the nation's defenders exposed. The military's will to fight depends on trust. Now that trust is broken. The country's security is at stake. Amid chaos, voices across society demand change. The Catholic Bishops' Conference condemns diabolical corruption, urging prayer and action. Civic groups organize protests, support whistleblowers, and educate the public. They channel anger into a sustained campaign for reform. The business community, alarmed by economic fallout, calls for swift, impartial investigations and real reforms. Corruption threatens jobs, investment, and growth. Even inside government, young lawmakers form the Accountability Caucus, pushing for stronger anti-corruption laws and transparency. These voices, from church, civil society, business, and government, show the demand for change is broad and deep. The nation is finding its unified voice. The pressure on leaders is mounting. The call is for more than promises. It's for real, lasting reform. The movement is unstoppable. The Philippines stands at a crossroads. One path leads to reform, impartial investigations, asset recovery, and deep systemic change. This path is hard, but it's the only way to restore trust and build a stronger nation. The other path is ruin in action, cover-ups, and superficial fixes. If justice fails, anger will fester, protests may escalate, and instability will deepen. A government that loses trust cannot govern. Internal decay leaves the country exposed, its institutions hollow, its economy fragile, its defenses weak. The greatest threat is not foreign warships, but the corruption eating away at the nation's soul. The fight against corruption is a fight for national survival. The sea of people on EDSA is both crisis and hope. It shows the nation is sick, but also determined to heal. Their collective voice demands a government worthy of trust. The choice is clear: undertake painful reforms or risk collapse. The risk is not just economic loss, but the unraveling of the nation itself. The future is unwritten. It's being decided now, on the streets of Manila. The world is watching. The time for change is now.